Well, let me move quickly through the vocabulary of Lesson 23. You have a call, he ate or consumed. Can also be used of consuming with the sword, which is a special usage of it. Yatsa is to come out or to go out from within. If you think of a circle with an arrow pointing out of it, that would give you the idea of going forth. Nasa is to travel or to journey. The noon assimilates in imperfect forms. So he will journey would be yisa. And then nasa, to lift or to carry. Again, don't have a whole lot to add to that. Radaf is to pursue, chase, or persecute. Sha'al is to ask. Shakach is to forget or forsake. And that's so hard to pronounce, I find it easy to forget. Shakach. And then tafas is to grasp or lay hold of or seize. I always thought of something too fast to grab. Tafas. And then the nouns, you have hok, which is statute. In the plural, it shows up as hukim, showing that it's a geminate with a doubling of the middle part of the root. And then you have mishpat, which is judgment or decision. In some cases, it can even be understood to mean like a norm. And then nefesh is a feminine noun, even though it looks masculine, meaning life or living being. And then you have those forms we saw with suffixes, aye, which means where. We had another form, apho, that also means where, but here's aye, which means where. They can also take pronominal suffixes. And then od, which is still or yet, which also can take pronominal suffixes. In the exercises, you're going to be practicing using the infinitive absolute and the infinitive construct along the way. So wherever you can, translate using infinitive absolutes or infinitive constructs. So if you have something like, I have surely visited my people, well, that means you're going to say, I visited, and then have an infinitive absolute attached to it as well. And then if you have preposition to in front of a verb, to redeem them, that looks like a infinitive construct. And then you'll also get to translate from Hebrew into English, parsing any verbal forms. So Amar HaNavi, the prophet said, Odeni po, Od, which is yet or still, Ni, which is I, Po, which is here. The prophet said, I am still here. What I really want to do is to move on to the Clemmons exercises. So in 23:1, we get some drill in parsing various forms. So let's start. Shama'a is a Cal perfect, third feminine singular, meaning she heard. Sha'alu is a imperative form, second masculine plural, from sha'al to ask, and so it means ask. Nasoa is a infinitive absolute. Notice the kamats, notice the whole and vav, with a furtive patah because of the guttural. And it would mean, well, it have to do with traveling, departing. Erdafa is from radaf, to pursue, persecute, and it means I will persecute, I will pursue, I wish to pursue, or let me pursue. And then you have akulim. There you get the shurik in between the second and third consonants, a sure indication of a passive participle. Akal is to eat. Akulim is the things which are eaten, masculine plural things that are eaten or consumed. Consumables, you might call them. And then you have shakoah. Here you have a shavah and a holam. That's the pattern of the infinitive construct. And shakah means to forget. And so this has to do with to forget or forgetting. Number 7, you could vocalize it differently, but the way that it's vocalized and the way that it's accented is that this is a kamatz hatuf zov chenu, meaning are, that would be a pronominal suffix, are sacrificing. Zavah. Infinitive construct plus pronominal suffix first common plural. And then yatso, kamatz and holam is the pattern of the infinitive absolute, and that would have to do with going forth. And depends on how the infinitive absolute, it could make it surely going forth or continually going forth, depending on exactly the context. And then you have nasu'e. Nasa is a new vocabulary that means to lift up or carry. And here you have a shurik, which is a telltale sign of the passive participle. And the seri yod is the construct form of the masculine plural. And so these are things or persons carried of. Things or persons carried of, and then the of might be the agent of the verbal idea of carried. Number 10, chafatztem is a calperfect second masculine plural, meaning you guys took pleasure in or take pleasure in. And then nishka means, that's from shaka, to forget, prefix noon of the imperfect. We will forget, or it could mean we could forget, we should forget, we ought to forget, all those modal usages, don't forget about. And then you have kaneha, from shakan, to sit or to dwell. And so this has the holam that indicates that you have a participle. The other dot is for the sheen rather than the seen. So you have the participle holam, and shakan means to dwell, and so the participle would be dwellers, and then the ha at the end would be her dwellers, perhaps referring to a city, which is feminine, ear, her inhabitants, her dwellers. Number 13 would be okli. That would appear to be the cal infinitive construct with the first common singular suffix. That would mean my consuming. It could be a subject, speaking about I am consuming something, my consuming. Or it could be an object, something consuming me, something eating me. And then yadoa, kamatz, holam vav, that's the infinitive absolute having to do with yada, to know. knowing, continually knowing, surely knowing, depending on exactly how it is used as an infinitive absolute. Yatsati, that's a cal perfect, first common singular, I went forth. Radafo, actually that'd be rodfo. That would be your cal infinitive construct plus a third masculine singular suffix. His pursuing or his persecuting could be that he is doing the persecuting, or it could possibly mean someone persecuting him. And then you have tishalna, and that would be a cal imperfect, either third feminine plural or second feminine plural. Hence, sha'al means to ask. Either them women will ask or you women will ask. And then hato, kamatz, holam vav, that's a infinitive construct of hata, to sin. And so that has to do with sinning. Again, depending on what it follows, if you had a finite verb with hata, it could mean surely sinning, or it could mean continually sinning, but it is an infinitive absolute. And then nasatat, I should say. That's from nasa, to get up or travel. And it's a cal perfect, second feminine singular, you lady traveled. And then okelet is a cal active participle masculine singular from a call to eat. She who eats, or a woman eater, a woman who eats. And then read fu, that looks like a cal imperative, second masculine plural, from radaf, to pursue. So it's commanding a group that includes some guys. You guys pursue, you guys persecute. And then naso, from nasa, to lift, is kamatz, and holam vav, that's the telltale sign of the infinitive absolute. And then you have shakucha. You have a shurik in between the second and third consonant. That's and a feminine singular type ending, and so that's a cal passive participle, feminine singular, and that would mean, is from shaka, to forget, and so it either she who is forgotten or that which is forgotten, cal passive participle. And then sha'alu is from sha'al, to ask, and it's a cal perfect third common plural, they asked. And then nasanu would be a cal perfect first common plural, we carried, we lifted. Nosaot is a cal active participle, feminine plural, women going forth, or feminine things going forth. And then akol is infinitive absolute, having to do with eating. Naloa is infinitive construct from shala, to send, sending or to send. Defi is a second feminine singular imperfect, meaning you will pursue or persecute. And nosea is a cal active participle masculine singular from nasa, you traveled or you journeyed. We'll do a little bit of 23.2 in the next video.